Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. Today, we are graced with Matt Muscat. Matt, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, Chris, thanks so much for having me.
Right on. So, you are the marketing director for Treadstone Funding and have heard some wonderful things about your coaching program and helping with marketing. So, I'm really looking forward to a conversation about marketing in the mortgage business.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in the business since 2011 or so, and I always like to joke that like my mom, when I told her after college that I was getting into mortgages, it was like 2010, and she was like, "Didn't that industry just like bankrupt the world economy? Why the hell do you want to work in that industry?" And I said, "Because nobody else is hiring." And from there, it's literally been the greatest industry I could possibly imagine. Realtors, loan officers. I mean, our industry has some of the hardest working people in it, so I'm super excited to be here today still.
That is amazing. So, in the pre-show, we got talking a little
Yeah,
bit about realtor marketing and how
sure.
to attract meetings with realtors. Now, that is a very hot topic right now
Absolutely.
because inventories are low. We need more houses on the marketplace, and everybody is trying to get in front of realtors. So, I would love to hear what you've got on opening up new relationships with realtors.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always like to start with an analogy, right? Like I go to all these conferences and sometimes I go with my lenders and you have some guy on stage that was a big deal 30 years ago and he'll say like, "Hey, start cold calling lists of lenders or lists of realtors in your area." But what they don't always say is like what to say, right? So like even if you have the list and you can get over your fear of cold calling, you then have to figure out what to say. Now, some of us are better than others, but at the end of the day, it feels to me and has felt to me for years like realtors are the pretty girl in school and the lenders are like the creepy dudes trying to get with them at all costs, right? So how can you be different and how can you have enough value that they want to pick up your calls? Now, it's one thing if you're the lender in your city who's been the number one lender for 20 years, right? Like the realtors want to pick up that guy's calls because they can get deals done. But if you're a new lender, if you're an average lender, if you're the same as everybody else in your area, what are you going to do? So I'll start with one that worked for me last week, right? Because like I want to share tips that are working right now. So we created a promotion. We shared it on Facebook, we shared it on Instagram, we shared it via email with all the realtors in our city, and we said, "Hey guys, the problem right now is that every time a house lists, it's sold in a day, and your clients don't get to compete for it. But there's tons of properties, not tons, like 50. There's 50 properties in the market that have been on the market for 10 days or more, and the sellers are freaking out. This is in every market, right? These are the properties, they're not that pretty. These are the properties that were a little bit overpriced. These are the properties that need some work, maybe just paint, but something else. Or these are the properties that are a little further away from the middle of town, but they are huge opportunities. So we called it our hidden gems contest. And we said any realtor can submit a hidden gem listing to us, to our lenders, and we will then promote it. But also, because we're lenders, we have a list of the last 1,000 people we pre-approved. We will scan our list of pre-approvals to see which of our buyers might be a fit for these hidden gem properties. I think we probably got 60 submissions from local realtors, which means those are realtors contacting us to ask us for a favor. Now, if you're looking for realtors to reach out to you, put it in a way that they're reaching out to you because they want something from you versus you calling them to ask them for something. Of these realtors that reached out to us, we didn't work with all of them. So we got 5 meetings out of it. So 5 agents we'd never worked with before. We said, "Hey, we'd love to feature it." We did it. And then also we said, "Hey, by the way, like we've never met, like why don't we grab coffee?" So that's the immediate value. The second piece though is that we were actually able to close 9 deals off of this list of properties that now we know have motivated sellers, motivated agents, etc., because we really do have all these pre-approved buyers. So that's my first idea. Like come up with something unique that offers more value.
That is phenomenal. And then as you're as you're sending out that marketing, are you
Yeah,
doing that in a targeted way? Like it wasn't just an organic Facebook post. How else
two
are you getting
great question,
engagement
right?
from
Because
that?
it isn't that easy. So we made a little graphic called Hidden Gems, and so we posted it organically on our Facebook and Instagram. "Hey, here's our hidden gems, calling all realtors, send us your listings." And then we shared it to all of the local real estate Facebook groups. So think like your realtor association in your area. That's almost always the group that we get the most organic feedback off of. Groups are huge on Facebook. So where it really took off is when we shared that post in the local association group. And then we also found 4 or 5 of the bigger brokerages in town, and we asked their broker to share it with their agents. So again, like, it's a free way for that broker to help their agents. Real estate brokers love things that don't cost them any money. So that was the second thing. And then third was we did an email blast to all the realtors in our CRM. And that's really where we're doing that now every 2 weeks, just to remind people about that. That's it. We haven't paid any money for this. We haven't put anything else behind it. We maintain an Excel sheet of all of the properties that are submitted, and we have one of our admins look through the list every Monday to remove any that sold over the weekend.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That is amazing.
Yeah. And I will say, like, if you're going to do this, the actual number one value is not the realtor meetings. It's actually giving your loan officers and their assistants the list to scan for their buyers. Like, who are your people that just want to be in a house and they don't care if it needs a coat of paint, or they don't care if it's, a 5 kilometers further than where they are. That's the real value. The realtor side is the icing on the cake.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And now, are you also, speaking about relationships, being involved in the real estate groups on Facebook, are you keeping a list of qualified realtors in the marketplace? And are you reaching out on a regular basis in order to get those appointments and to nurture those relationships?
Absolutely. So, like, the biggest thing for us is we have a non-negotiable policy at our office for Tuesday updates. So every single Tuesday, every loan officer is required to call every realtor that's on the listing side and the buy side of every deal that they're working on. It increases the profile of our company name in our local real estate community. And it also ensures that our loan officers are making these calls, right? Because they're calling about something important. When you make a Tuesday update call, you are literally holding that real estate agent's paycheck hostage. So they want to call, like, they want to talk to you. They want to know, is there something wrong? Is there something that I need to know about? Is there an update? Now, when you get those, that is your number one chance for the week to get more referrals from that person, or to set up a coffee meeting if it's someone that you don't already know. So that's probably our biggest one. It's our non-negotiable. And then every month we look for the list of new real estate agents in our community, and we give those out to our new lenders to form relationships with. So step one is a phone call, email, text. You try all 3 in a 2-day period to get a meeting with that person. Second one is we will reach out to say, like, hey, by the way, we're going to be at a XYZ coffee shop with a photographer. We're going to offer free headshots to all new realtors 5 times a year. Be here for this date to save some money. And then the third one might be, come have a marketing meeting or come to one of the CE events, that continuing education events that we're hosting. So we kind of have like multiple tries. So first try is a lending meeting. Second try might be an invitation to a headshot or another local event. Third one might be invitation to a marketing meeting or a marketing event.
Amazing.
And that's for new realtors specifically. And many associations publish this list, if you remember. So check with your association to see if they do, because it's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. And so you touched on a really powerful success habit there. And that is once a week, getting your list of everybody that you're working with on both sides and making those calls to those realtors, doing those status updates. Now, oftentimes when we meet people that are using that strategy, they struggle with what to say to the listing agent on the other side of that phone call.
Yeah.
So what does that look like in your organization? How are you reaching out to the lenders that are on the other side of the transaction to build that relationship and get that referral on the next deal that they're working on?
You mean, how do we reach out to the listing agents? Like, what do we say?
Correct.
Got it. So when we're reaching out to the listing agents, we, number one, half of them don't pick up the phone. So that's the biggest thing. So when we're leaving that voicemail, we're saying, hey, it's Kevin. I'm the lender on 235 Main Street. Just wanted to chat with you. Had a quick question. Give me a call back. So then you wait for them to call. The minute it's even better when you get to leave that voicemail, because then when they call you, you're not interrupting their day. They're calling you for something. So psychologically, it sets it up for success. And then typically what we're going to do is we're going to run them through an update on exactly where the deal is at. And then we're going to pull up a picture of the property. We're going to figure out something interesting about the property to compliment them on their great listing. Ask them a question about it. It might be, hey, by the way, like, I have another customer looking for this. Do you have any others coming up in this area? Okay. That's always an easy one, because it's true, but it doesn't have to be like it's not very specific, right? Like, of course you have a buyer that's looking right now, inventory is so tight. That is typically the question that we're going to ask. And then usually we're going to look them up in MMI first, get an idea of what kinds of lenders they work with. We're going to get an idea on what type of volume they're doing, what kind of areas they work with, and we're going to see if there's anything else we can mention. Finally, a little Facebook or Instagram stalking goes a long way, right? Like, I want to find out quickly, what do I have in common with this person? Like, the number one agent in our market is super into wine. I'm super into wine, not like as an alcoholic. I just love a good red, you know. I don't like beer. I'm a wine guy. So when I was prospecting him and I go to his Instagram and I saw that he goes to all of the same wine bars as me, I said, hey, by the way, I know this is weird, but I've seen you around the wine community in town. If you ever want to grab a glass of wine, I'm in.
Nice.
He immediately responded, my wife and I would love to. We're having a small group over on Friday. Come on by.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like when you look for reasons, like little things to drop and little like reasons to meet other than just real estate, it can go really far. So I would say make sure to use social media to your advantage on that, and see where you can go from there.
Totally. And so shifting the conversation a little bit into more of that relationship style marketing and leveraging through social media. I'm still getting asked all of the time, what networks are the realtors on? Where's the best place to meet them, friend them, like them, engage with their social content? What are you seeing in the marketplace right now?
I'd say for your average, like if I had to give like a blanket answer for like North America, I'd probably, and for the average realtor out there, I'd probably say if the realtor community that you're going after is under 45, I would go Instagram. If it's over 45, I would probably go Facebook. The more women you're chasing, go Instagram. The more males you're chasing, probably go Facebook.
Got it. Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. And like, you know, the big thing, like I tell this to realtors and lenders all the time, you don't have to use social media, right?
Yep.
Like my dad doesn't use it and he's still a great guy. However, if you want to stay top of mind for free without spending money, you're crazy to not be on there, because you don't need to post mortgage information all the time. Like rates are only so exciting. New programs only come out once every 6 months. But if I work with you and you're my client, whether you're my realtor client or my customer client, and we connect on social media, you are all of a sudden seeing my information, my kids, my family, me in the community all the time, and you're reminded of me. You don't need to just be thinking of me as a mortgage person. You can think of me as a person that you like, and that's really the goal. That's why lenders do community appreciation events. That's why lenders do, you know, sponsorships at baseball games. You just want to stay top of mind, and social media is extremely powerful for that. But the big thing, and this is where most people miss out, you add your clients on social media and then you move on and you never talk to them. Yep. You cannot do that, right? You have to nurture it. It's like farming. I know nothing about farming, but what I do know is you have to water your plants, right? If you add me on social media and never message me, never talk to me, never engage, you're not even going to see my stuff after 6 months. Yep. And it's basically a waste of time. Like, Chris, after we're done with this, I'm going to add you on Instagram. I'm going to comment or message you on the next 3 or 4 things you post. I'm going to hope that you respond, and we're going to keep this relationship going for a little bit longer. Because we need to figure out how can we both extract the max amount of value here. And that's the goal with social media. So if you want an exercise for what to do with Instagram, click on your friends list. It'll show you who you haven't talked to in a while, if you have a business or a creator profile, and then send a message to those people about themselves, not about you. Yep. That will give you a tangible amount of messages to send out. And it's the same thing as making phone calls. It's doing something. It's social media crack. It's huge.
Yep, I could not agree more. And the way that we're dovetailing that strategy, we've been working with artificial intelligence very heavily as of recent. And one of the things that we've discovered is that we can use Zapier to automate social media activities from activities that are happening within our CRM. So we can actually take a tag application inside our CRM, like a new lead is generated, or we add a realtor to a specific list inside the CRM, and it will automatically go out and find their profiles. It will automatically go out and send a friend request. And so it's those types of things when you're looking at your realtor marketing and you're looking at, okay, here's somebody who has listings in today's active marketplace. Those people are going to take effort to open a relationship up with. And every tool that you've got in your toolkit needs to be used at this point in order to open those relationships up. And
Mhm.
so those of you that are relying primarily just on phone calls and text messages, yes, that will drive the majority of your results, but don't leave the things that you can be doing behind the scenes as far as social media, because that makes a huge impact as well.
I think it's huge. And the number one reason that social media doesn't work for most lenders is because they don't have it time locked in their calendar as a business related activity. Right. Like
Mm,
we talked about those Tuesday updates at our office, it's a non-negotiable. But imagine if your average realtor that you're calling on is a 29-year-old female, why wouldn't your Instagram time be part of your business plan also?
yep.
If social media isn't part of your business plan, it's just not going to work. You have to time block it in there, and then from there work backwards. What's working? What is getting me these meetings?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And again, that goes back to social media being a thing where the number one thing that people think about and the number one thing that people struggle with is how do I create content? Where you can be super light on your content, but if you're engaging and having meaningful conversations with people or supporting their content, it's going to go a lot further than you actually making content and putting it out on the social media networks. If you've got your top 40 realtors that you want relationships with and that you are currently doing business with and you want to do more business with, and you're going out and spending focused time commenting, liking, sharing their information, supporting what it is that they're doing on social media, one positive comment that promotes a listing that they've put out there or that promotes an event that they're hosting or even that talks to something personal, you're going to get far more engagement and far more depth of relationship from that than any piece of content that you can create and put out on your own
Correct.
social media profile. So what you said there, Matt, is take that to heart, listeners. That is something that you can take an action right now and use to generate appointments.
And if you need an even easier thing to remember, if you want like a little tagline or a one liner, stop the scroll. If you
Yeah.
want social media to work for you, never scroll past more than 3 posts in a row without sending an engaging comment or message. If you're going on Instagram, it's so easy to just click on stories and get through 30 of them and realize you've just wasted your time and seen some cool stuff, but not said anything. I message one in every three things. If I cannot think of anything interesting to say to at one in every three of your posts, we're probably not compatible, right?
Yep.
Like we either have our kids in common, like you and I both have 6-year-olds. I'm sure we could relate on that. Or maybe we like the same sports. Maybe we drink the same stuff. Maybe we vacation in the same spots. If you post three things and nothing's interesting to me, maybe we should just cut the relationship right here, right?
And that's okay.
Engage. Yeah. And
Yep.
that's okay. Focus your time on people that are actually going to work with you.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Oh, Matt, thank you for being so generous with
Yeah,
your time. Where can people go to find more information about you, what you do,
absolutely.
and your coaching program?
Yeah, so super simple. The easiest way to get more information like this, check out my book. It's on Amazon. It's called Tag: The Tangible Action Guide for Real Estate Marketing. It is a super easy read, and lenders, you can get copies for your agents. And what I like to do is I will assign like little work groups for my lenders. They will get like a couple copies of the book, call the realtors and say, hey, we're going to do a mastermind. We're each going to focus on chapter 1 today. That's LinkedIn marketing. Chapter 2 is CRM marketing. Chapter 3 is this 3x3 strategy of how to text past clients. And you do it with them and hold them accountable. And you call them back every week so that your second call is basically to see how they did on the homework from the first week. And
Yeah.
that becomes your what to call and why. So the book's on Amazon. You can check it out. Otherwise, just engage with me on my website, mattmuscat.com, or check me out on Instagram, mattmuscat88. I'm always happy to brainstorm marketing ideas with lenders, realtors, etc.
That is awesome. And we will have all that information in the show notes. Again, Matt, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks,
And to all
Chris.
y'all out there listening, thanks so much. And we'll see you on the next episode.